Hey, David, I here again. And as Michael mentioned at the beginning about the great thing about building RAD server-based solutions is that you can create your package files and install them into RAD Server. And they're just accessible by Delphi, by C++ Builder, and by any other language as long as it can do REST and JSON-based calls. I'm going to take that get sales zone package file, and I'm going to use a Java client application to talk to one of the endpoints. So here I've got my data module. It's got a Fire DAC connection, and we've got a query of the serials that we want, and then we've got the other endpoint for doing a query for daily specials. If we look at the code behind, we've got our resource called trigger, and we've got some endpoints, in particular a get sales zone endpoint, where we can pass it parameters and then get what the client requests. So if we go and look at the implementation of get sales zone, we can see that the parameterized query, which is going to be querying serial or whatever the client application asks for. And then it's going to run the query, and then it's going to use the JSON writer. Once it gets that query and activates it, it's going to go through the record count, make sure it's greater than 0. And then it's going to write out the JSON for product ID, for the product name, the barcode, the SKU code, the price, the sale price, and so on. And then when it's done, we're going to finish writing the JSON array, and then we're going to return it back to the client application. We'll start up RAD Server and see that we've got the registration of different endpoints, the users, the groups, installations, the push notification, some edge modules for doing IoT that's part of our solution. And we've got the trigger resource endpoints with the get sales zone BPL. And then we can use that to get an item or a group of items. And then I'm here in Eclipse, the Mars release, the latest release. This is the 64-bit version. And I've got a Java sample application here. Very simple. And what it's going to do is it's going to make an HTTP request to the endpoint trigger. And we're going to pass it the item, in this case, serial. And then we're going to do a GET request. If it can connect to the RAD server, then everything is good. If not, we'll put out the HTTP error code. Otherwise, we're going to read what comes back from the connection and the GET request. And then we're going to output it to the console window, which is down here. So we'll go in and just say run as a Java application. And I clicked it a couple times. And down here, we see that for item equals serial, we get the JSON for all of the serials that we have in the database, the post honey bunches of oats, the barcode, the SKU code, the regular price, and so on. So they're a very simple example of using a Java client, calling into our RAD server, calling one of the endpoints, having the query happen going from Fire DAC in the RAD server package to our Interbase database, where we have the tables that we talked about earlier, customers, in this case, the products. And since I asked for the serial items, then I get the result coming back for those. So you can use any programming language that can make a REST call, can do a GET request, and accept back JSON coming back. And then you'd write the rest of your code on your Java client, your Python client, or whatever to do the user interface or the displaying of the products that you're looking for. That's how simple it is to use Java client to talk to a RAD server endpoint and get the data back.